Hey guys, it's 2023, so you know what that means? It's time to start the year off by complaining. I'm just kidding, but I do want to talk about owning a business and how it can come with its caveats. I don't ever say that word. I want to talk about owning a business and how it's kind of lonely sometimes. So this is a general rant, but I do want it to be informative for those who own a business or plan on having a business. So whether you're doing YouTube or you're starting a project or owning a business, it is a lot easier to have somebody to start it with. Sometimes you have to do these things by yourself and that's just all you got. And you know, it's kind of hard because you can't always reflect your ideas or like bounce ideas off of each other and tell each other when an idea is bad or what's good or what could go wrong, what could go right. You don't have any of that. And if you're a guy like me who has about 1 million ideas going through his head every day, you need that type of reflection. You need that kind of sounding board, but it's not always available. And sure, I can reach out to my friends and my family, and there's a couple of other people who own a business as well, but they're not doing the exact same thing that I'm doing. Sometimes it can look like other business owners have it completely together, and that kind of segues into the problem of comparing yourself to someone else who seemingly looks like they're doing a lot better, which may not be the case. One of the worst parts about being by yourself is you're probably doubting yourself more than you ever have in your life. Basically, for the last year and 3 months, I have been kind of at odds with myself. I've had this business for about 3 years now, but for some reason, I'm starting to experience a little bit of this doubt. Like, what am I doing? You know, am I doing my taxes right? Does my website look good? Am I saying the right things to my customers? You get imposter syndrome. Like, am I allowed to get this much money? Or am I allowed to be this happy and feel this free? I feel like I should be suffering along with everybody else. So sometimes it feels kind of weird. You don't know what's right or wrong because you're winging it. It's kind of up to you. So one thing that actually bothered me was I was watching Peter McKinnon and Evan Rapt talking about whenever they first started their business, and they both had somebody to be there, to like be their accountability partner. For example, whenever Peter started, he said him and Chris Ramsey just wanted to start YouTube and just go for it. Evan Rapt, I think he said back in like 2016, he had a buddy who was already doing it and kind of showed him the ropes.
Around 2015, I met my friend Kareem, who is still one of my best friends to this day. He really motivated me to push and do more with my photography.
Now, I do have other friends who do videography and photography, generally just a few friends that own a business, but it's not always directly in line with what I'm doing. And being able to call that person up and say, hey, let's go shoot this thing. Let's go photograph that thing over there. Let's drive, let's just go. You know, it's kind of hard to do that. So here's a couple of tips that I've kind of kept in mind whenever I'm going through the waves, going through the motions of losing confidence or feeling some self-doubt. So tip number one is be careful about who you compare yourself to, because you know you can compare yourself right out of being content with your life, even though everything that you have going on is probably what somebody else might wish for, but you know you wouldn't know. And I hate looking at this stupid camera. It's so weird. But if you are going to compare yourself, try to think of it like this. If you see somebody who's obviously doing better than you, think, one day I'm going to be in their shoes, or I can't wait to be where they are one day. The second thing is to learn to minimalize. Specifically, people with ADHD like me, where I get really distracted by a lot of things, a lot of clutter. Minimalize, clean up. You know, if you have a desk that's always messy, make sure you only have like up to 3 or 4 items on it instead of 20. You know, on your computer desktop, there's icons all over the place. Just delete it, put it in folders, take the time to kind of organize everything and make sure that it's all in its proper place. And your workflow is going to be a lot better. And this can be done with everyday tasks too. So if you have 15 things to do, try to sort them out by the most important to the least important. So for example, I have this little book and I write down everything I need to do for that day. If it needs to be done, I will have it as top priority. If it kind of needs to be done, I'll give it its own little section. And if it doesn't need to be done and it's just something that I've come up with, then I just let it go. One really bad habit that I have is stretching things out all week because I kind of feel guilty about not working. For example, if I tell one of my customers it's going to take 2 weeks to get their photos to them, I will take that whole 2 weeks just because I don't like any gap of not doing anything. I like to know that I'm still working on something because I feel like everybody else that's working a 9 to 5, you know, they have to go through it. Why shouldn't I? And that's kind of a good way to defeat yourself. And I had no idea I was really burning myself out thinking like that. You need at least 1, maybe 2 days every week where you don't think about your business at all. If you're a workaholic and you can handle that thing, good for you. I am not one of those people. I finally tried it and it's worked a miracle. Like, I can't explain how much better I feel. I'll just take one day where, you know, I'll read a book or I'll play a game or just play the guitar, just anything, go out with my friends. And I won't take a picture, I won't look at Instagram, I won't look at my website, I won't answer anybody about anything photography related unless it's really imperative that I talk to them right then and there. Otherwise, I leave it alone. So take breaks, they're really important. Another thing is surround yourself with people who are doing what you're doing. Now, I know I just talked about not having anybody in, it can be kind of lonely, but there are other business owners and it's important to keep them in your circle because they're gonna give you advice about owning a business that you probably wouldn't think about. Even though it might not be in the same field as you, they're still gonna teach you something that's gonna lessen your stress or, you know, bring you in more sales. Whatever you're doing, it's gonna help you. For example, I just messaged my friend Jesse the other day and said, how do you keep everything in one place? Because you deal with like 100 clients a week. Where do you keep all the booking and everything? And she told me HoneyBook. And I was like, never thought of that. Because I also have this habit of having things in like 100 different places. And that just doesn't work. And that kind of circles back to minimalizing and keeping everything in one central location so that your workflow doesn't stress you out. And finally, remember that you're not Superman, you're not Superwoman. It is absolutely okay to not have all your ducks in a row. You are not good at everything, you can't be good at everything, and you're not meant to be good at everything. If we were, then we would have no use for human connection whatsoever. So it's really important to have other people in your life that are going to help you out with your business, and you can even help them out and just have one big collaborative, amazing thing. It's just important to remember that you can't do everything perfect. You have to leverage and utilize your strengths and see the best way to handle your weaknesses. So just listen to me for a second. I know that this is your business and it's your baby, your creation, but set your pride aside for a little bit and hire people to do things that you're not good with. If you're not good at building a website, pay somebody to do it. It will save you the headache and it'll give you extra time to run your business more efficiently. So thank you guys for watching. I plan on having more content like this in the future. So subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, notification bell if you don't want to miss anything in the future. And I don't think there's anything else. So I'll see you later.